Hey everybody, welcome to today's show. Welcome to Equality and Rights for All. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke, and we have a very interesting topic for today's show, in which it is city human resource workers refuse to do their jobs. So let's get right into this. Um, these people that work for like Human Resource Administration, these are city workers. They're um they're unionized. They have good jobs with the government, but yet they screw their jobs up big time, and they refuse to do their jobs. They literally refuse to do their jobs, and um this really needs to stop. This really needs to stop. And um you know when you go to apply, when people go to apply for their benefits, these workers are supposed to inform the consumers of everything, everything, and they don't. They don't. They want the consumer to screw things up, you know? And I'll give you an example. The human resource workers will say to the consumers, okay, as evidence, you need to bring um, this, and this, but they'll refuse to tell them the other things that they need to bring. And then the worker say, "Oh, well, you didn't bring the other things. You're supposed to bring them." And the consumer goes, "Well, you never told me." And um, so and that messes things up completely. And the workers will then say, "Well, you didn't submit this form of evidence, so we're gonna close your case." And then they won't even tell the consumers about um how to appeal the denials. They won't even tell them. You have to wait for the paperwork to hopefully come in the mail, and it would stipulate things on there if you want to appeal the decision. But then, even with that, it's only a small amount. They don't even tell you the full ways of appealing a decision. You got to figure it out on your own, and that's not right. And why do these workers do this? Why do they do it? Very simple. Because the more denials that they give people, is the more money that these workers can pocket. And a lot of these workers are stealing the consumer's money. A lot of them are. And that's not right. And even on some of these applications that the consumer's got to fill out, the applications aren't even correct. You know, I'll give you a perfect example. I filled out an application recently for part of my benefits, and I am the case holder of my HRA case. My husband's on my case, but he's not the head of the case. I am. And these people, let's call them to try to be nice, these people from HRA keep screwing the application up. And how do they do that? Because at the end of the application, where I'm supposed to sign my name, these people put my husband's name instead. I can't even submit the application. Because why? Because they screwed it up. And they do it, and they do this deliberately. And why do I say deliberately? Because people say, well, it could be an accident, it could be this, it could be that. No, it's not, because ever since even last year, when I had the same problem, they were supposed to fix it since last year, and they didn't. But you know what never gets screwed up? Their payroll department. Oh, those paychecks are picture perfect. Those paychecks are picture perfect. No screw up there. And I forbid if they should actually do their jobs. And if you get them into trouble, for everybody in New York City, throughout New York City, throughout all 5 boroughs in New York City, here's what you got to do. If you have to appeal, there's different appeal processes. You got to read the paper on how to do the appeal process. But here's what you can also do. You file a complaint with your local councilperson's office. And then from there, you also file a complaint with OTDA, the Office of Temporary and Disability Assistance. That's New York State. OTDA oversees HRA. And then from there, you file a complaint with the mayor's office. And then from there, you also file a complaint with the governor's office. Or file them separately. Or you can write your complaint to HRA as well, to their administration, and attach it to that. If you're doing it by email, you can also include OTDA in that. Separate from that, you file a separate complaint with your local councilperson's office. And separate from that, you also file a complaint with DSS, the Department of Social Services. Separate from that, you file a complaint with the mayor's office. And separate from that, you file a complaint with the governor's office. That's what you got to do. And then, and that's why I say separately, because if you do this all at once, one government office can say, well, if you file a complaint with this other government office, we're not going to help you. Let the other office do it. You don't want that. You want to get on these SOBs. And how do you do that? Separate complaints, like I just said. With all these separate complaints, they are going to get on the social service workers, like HRA, and they're going to pile those complaints on them, and those HRA administrators are going to be bombarded with phone calls and email or whatever from the higher brasses that be, and they don't want that. So I'm just giving a little hint out there about how to properly do an appeal, you know. So, but anyways, I want to remind all my fans out there about my website, Advocate Information Highway, and the link to there is AIHNY.com. Again, that's AIHNY.com. And you guys could check out all the pages on there. And so with that, take care, everybody. Bye.